Hey everyone, Jason Kocharski here, the CTO of Holistic Learning and Holistic Speech. I just wanted to give you a walkthrough on how to set up and use Chrome Remote Desktop. So if your students are using Chromebooks, giving mouse control can be more difficult than if they have a Windows computer or a Mac. There's a solution to share mouse control on Chromebooks, and it works really well for one-on-one therapy sessions. Unfortunately, it is still more difficult and cumbersome to do with multi-student groups, but for one-on-one it works good enough at least. So, and we're going to use Chrome Remote Desktop to do that, to give and get mouse control. There are two components to setting up Chrome Remote Desktop. The host needs to download and install software on the computer, and then the student needs to install a Chrome extension. And then after each person has the right software on their computers, then screen sharing involves the host generating a one-time use code and sharing it with the user. So let's get started with the installation. First thing you're going to do is go to remotedesktop.google.com. So to do that, first set up remote access by downloading all this stuff. This will be, looks like it is the extension. So add to Chrome. Don't want that. A random name for your computer. Come up with whatever pin you want. Now, if you have a Mac, it's going to ask you to open up the accessibility preferences, and you're going to have to make sure you give enough access so that remote mouse control works. So you're going to go through to the Security and Privacy tab, the Privacy setting, and then find, this should be two, Chrome Remote Desktop is one of them. So we'll enable that for now. And we will come back and do it again for the next component as well. There we go, online. So it looks like it did work. So the next step, after you have that set up and you're online, you're going to have to generate a code. And this is asking for another accessibility permission. So open that back up. Where is it? Remote Assistance Host app. So this is the next one you have to do on Mac. So now that you have both of those enabled, you should be able to generate a code. Now this is a one-time use code. It's important to know this. And this is part of the problem that makes it difficult for having multiple students in one session, which is you share this code with your student, but once you're done sharing so if you want to take back mouse control, maybe you're doing a turn-based game, once you take back mouse control, that code expires. And so it's pretty cumbersome to be doing some sort of multi-turn game with several students. You'd have to generate a new code every time. I highly recommend you don't start generating that first code until you're already in a Zoom or a Google Meet session. That way you can share the code easily in that chat feature, because if you were to send these on email, it becomes pretty burdensome to deal with setting it and getting it. So yeah, once you set that, once you generate a code, give it to your students. It makes the most sense to already be in a video session.
So as a user, this is from your student's perspective, they will want to have access to your mouse to share games and stuff. So the first thing you need to do is share your code with them through either email or ideally, like I said before, the chat of Google Meet or Zoom. And then what they have to do is go to that same website, remotedesktop.google.com, and then they will go down to this give support. So it's a very confusing name, but the easy way to distinguish it is it has room for an access code, and you've given them this access code. You can then have them copy and paste it in and hit connect.
once your student enters the code and hits connect, you as the host will see this pop up asking whether you want to share control of your computer. When you hit share, that will enable access for the student to see your screen and also have mouse control. And you as the host should see a little pop-up that says you're currently sharing with so-and-so. It has that stop sharing button. So remember, like I said earlier, if you hit stop sharing, that will invalidate that code, and then you'll have to share, you have to share another code, generate a new code, and share it with somebody in order for them to take control again. And so, yeah, it's not the easiest to do repetitively, but for one student and for longer sessions, it's not too big of a problem. But yeah, that is how you can use Chrome Remote Desktop to share mouse control and share screens with someone. I hope you found it useful. Thanks.